That's what I didn't understand when I first went into Red Pill. I didn't understand why men were so opposed to marriage. And I, like,
That's one of the reasons.
It was so foreign, well, partially, but it was so foreign to me because I was like, my parents were married. Everyone, like, most people I know were married. Like, there was some, like, where I grew up, it was Catholic school, and there was some, like, divorced families.
But it was, like, not spoken of, frowned.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I didn't really know the story. Like, when you get older, you hear more of the stuff that happened behind the scenes. But when you're young, they don't tell you.
No, of course not.
You know, and so, but then when I started to realize, like, the men, they don't even get their kids if there's a divorce, like 90% of the time. Then I started to learn, like, how the Duluth model was implemented, and, like, women can charge men of domestic violence without giving men, like, the right to a fair trial to face their accuser, like all that stuff in civil court. And then I started learning about how once the guys get married, the girls will get fat and then stop sleeping with them, and then how men value youth and purity, but the average age of first marriage in the UK is 31, so they don't get either. And you start, like, doing the math, and right? I just started, like, thinking about it and, like, putting myself in the guy's shoes, and I'm like, if I was a guy and I was gonna risk everything, like, would I want to do it for, you know, the average girl today?
A fuck no.
And who's overweight, or if she's not overweight, statistically she will be. She's not pure. Like, what guy gets a virgin nowadays? She's not, like, and they don't cook, they don't clean. And I was like, if I was a guy, would I want to get married? And I'm like, and if she leaves, she can take half your stuff. That's right. She can take the kids. And then what they'll do is they'll say, well, how common is this? Da 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 da. And it's like, okay, well, the whole point is that's a lot of power to give someone.
Yes, it is.
And that's not really a fair deal.
No.
And
happy wife, happy life, though.
Well, I've got another saying. I call it.
But why is that there? Because the woman has all the power. So you're gonna have happy wife, happy life because she has all the power.
Yep, that's it. That's why I say girlfriends are better than wives. Because if she's a girlfriend, then you can just end the relationship without any perceived collateral damage. And a lot of guys in the community say, oh my God, when Devin leaves Donovan, she's taking half his shit. No, she can't. We live in a state that does not recognize common law marriage. When we move, we'll move to a state that does not recognize common law marriage. But men, we are fair and we are just. And I've said this in public. If I ever decide to leave Devin, I'm going to make sure she's taken care of financially. Because, dude, she quit her job. She helps me. She helped me to build the empire. She's paid her dues. She puts up with my crap, and she treats me like a fucking god. So if it ever comes to a point to where I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm kind of tired of this feminine, submissive woman who does literally anything I ask her to do. I'm gonna make sure I break her off. If she decides to leave, she ain't getting shit though.
Well, I think most men are very fair, honestly. Even with, like, the child support stuff, I think most men want to, like, take care of their kids, but it's like the women get so spiteful and greedy where they'll just, like, drag a man to court out of spite
for no reason.
There was a girl that came on my show that said she stopped letting the dad see the kids because she felt like the kids were better off without him.
Unbelievable.
And, like, it wasn't abuse. Like, she would like, then what the girls will do is they'll say some messed up shit and be like, I don't want to get into it. I'm like, then why'd you say it?
And speak for themselves, though, right?
And even the women that are not that spiteful, then they have the lawyer in their ear. And the lawyer can make money off of this.
Yes.
And then you begin to understand the industrial divorce business that is running this country, right? You go and you look in Title 4D and you're like, oh, shit, they make more money the more that they can extract from child support?
That's right.
Oh.
And it almost looks like an elaborate plan. That's why every other commercial is he went to Jared or every kiss begins with K. It's almost like they're in business with one another. It's have you ever driven down a street where all of the potholes are in the tire track, right? It's almost like you think that the tire manufacturers designed the street, right? Or change your oil every 3,000 miles. No, that's bullshit. You don't really need to change your oil until about 5,000 or 6,000 miles.
So what do you guys think about, like, and this was always a criticism of, like, the manosphere red pill, is that they would say, you know, marry before you carry, but now men don't want to get married.
So what do I say to who?
Yeah, no, like, because there's two conflicting messages there's so many different people, but you would have Kevin Samuels say things like, marry before you carry, right? And I think that's fair, right? I think that's fair.
Of course.
But at the same time, you hear the men say, we don't want to get married, do not get married. And I understand both sides. So, like, how do you reconcile that?
Easily. private marriage.
Okay.
You get married, just don't get the state involved. Have the wedding, have the ceremony, have the pomp and circumstance, cut the cake, do the little thing where you wrap it around with the wine, break the bottle and all that stuff. Just don't sign any papers, right? You can, because honestly,
can you legally change your last name?
Yes, you can. You can change your last name. You can go to the Social Security. Yeah.
Power of attorney.
You know it.
You can do all of the marriage things, I guess, except for like the tax, the combination from a tax perspective.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing.
Besides that, you could do all of that separately.
And the funny thing is the only reason why we think people are married is because there's evidence of it, but we don't see the marriage certificate. We saw the wedding, and that's proof enough, right? So if the wedding is proof enough that you got married, then why sign the papers?
So if you guys had daughters, you would be cool with that?
Yes, 100%.
Yes?
100%.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
I'm just
100%.
curious.
And the thing is you have to understand female nature. And it's funny, a lot of people I have had discussions with, they say, well, you have mother. What if you had a daughter? And I'm like, look, man, the truth is the truth. Whether the truth applies to all women, whether they're related to us familially or not. I love my mother and I love my sisters. They were hoes, man. My mom was a hoe. Listen, my mom was a hoe when she was married. Dude, my mom cheated on my dad and had at least 2 abortions. Both of my sisters have had at least I was there for one of them. So I know and I've witnessed this stuff firsthand. And there are a lot of guys who would like to think, well, that doesn't apply to my mom. Yes, Mom, I love you to death. You brought me into this world. I will be forever grateful. But that doesn't mean I can't acknowledge that she was a hoe.
Do you think that if a girl has an abortion, that takes her off of wife or long-term relationship
100%.
material?
100%.
The thing is that we'll never know because she'll just lie about it.
Okay, what if you do know?
So if I knew that she had an abortion in the past?
Yeah, an abortion.
She's done.
A lot of guys don't care. I've asked lately.
Well, if a lot of guys don't care, those are guys without options. If you commit to a woman who made the unilateral decision to end the life of another person without their consent, that is a special kind of evil.
I'm with you. I agree. Like I'm very pro-life, but I'm just that isn't the consensus that when I ask this question that I've gotten.
Really?
Yeah, I mean they could just be because then it's interesting because if guys don't give a certain answer, then the other guys will be like, oh, they're just capping. They might be. I don't know, but
I don't know. Maybe
I've just asked guys on the show if
disqualified. Real talk.
Yeah,
I don't care. I don't care.